Welcome back to the MuleSoft Vibes series. My name is Prashant. I'm working as a MuleSoft architect. So in this today's session, we are going to develop a REST-based API from scratch with the help of MuleSoft Agent, and we are going to provide the use case to him, and we are going to use the same use case which we have used for our RAML creation. And let's see with that use case, with just 2 or 3 lines of general use case, let's see how much code and how much intelligent code is being created using the MuleSoft Dev Agent. So I already have the use case, and this is something which I'm going to paste. So I'll just copy this, I'll paste it here. So it's a simple thing. Please develop a REST-based API for below requirement. So the requirement is Netflix needs a MuleSoft-based movie onboarding API that accept the movie details through a post request. The API must add the movie record into the Netflix backend system with appropriate success or error response. So I'm just going to send it, and let's wait for the dev agent to respond. So as soon as the query is being sent, dev agent will respond on top of it, right? So this is something it is just printing something which he's thinking of, right? There are a lot of things. So the first thing is he has now started creating the API code using this tool, right, which is available in the MuleSoft MCP server. And this is the tool name, which is create mule project. It accepts 2 arguments, project name and the path where this project will be stored or saved. So for now it is auto approved, so that's the reason it is not asking me for the approval. And the response as well we will get as soon as the tool is executed, and this is the response which is there with us, right? And once that is done, the folder is being created, and then it is just reading all the files from that particular folder structure, right? So he has created the folder as per the MuleSoft and Maven best practices, and there are few things which he is doing in the backend, right? He's just reading some files, he's updating those files, right? And if there are no files available, he's creating the files as well. And for creating the code, creating the flows, and creating the connector configurations and everything, this is the tool which is getting used, which is generate mule flow. It is also auto approved, and the arguments, these are the arguments which are which this tool is basically accepting, right? And once the tool is executed, we will have some response from that tool as well, and few other things which is being done in the backend. So looks like he has started creating the code, right? And the first thing is he's created the main XML file, right, which is movie onboarding API. This one which is getting updated. And he has also created the global file, the global XML file with for all our connector configurations. Post that, he has created a property file, right, for all our connector properties, right? And he has just started creating and started updating, started validating all the files which he has created by himself. So the main advantage of using dev agent is that as soon as we ask him for any work, or as soon as we give him the requirement, right, he will start executing those as per the need, as per the best practices. And if anything fails in between, or if anything is not getting created as per the requirement, right, or if anything is getting failed, right, a kind of compilation time error or runtime error, anything, right, or the connector configuration error or the XML tag error, anything. So in that case, he will check that error on his end as well, and he will execute all the steps which are required to resolve those error, and then at the end he will resolve that error, and then he will give you the proper code, right? And this is something which is useful for us, right, because many AI tools are currently they're lagging with this particular functionality. So that is the main thing which I usually used and I usually like of the dev agent. Looks like all the files are now created, and finally he's creating a readme file, right? And this readme file will have all the I would say all the information of our MuleSoft, which we can share it with any new developer so that he will get to know what this code is doing. All right. So the implementation code is now ready with us. Let's go through the code. So we have this API which is created under MuleSoft-API folder. So the folder structure is as per the MuleSoft best standards, right? Map and standards. So we have a src folder, we have a target folder, we have a artifact.json file, we have a pom file, and we have a readme file as well, right? Created under this project structure. So under src we have main test, and under main we have mule and resources. Dev agent has created a Java folder as well, right? So under mule we have two XML files created. This is the main XML file, and the other one is the global XML file. So global XML file will have all the elements, all the global connector configurations for all our backend system or outbound calls, right? And our main XML file, this is our main XML file, and it has a listener to accept the request, and we have a API GET router to route the request to the specific endpoint. So currently we have only one endpoint, right? And if you remember, we have not provided any endpoint related details, right? Any technical stuff. We have just provided a sample use case that this is what we are trying to do, a generalized use case, and based on that he has created a respective endpoints, right? So it's all about the movies. We are just adding the movies in the backend system. So for that reason, we have a post/movies endpoint as one of the flow. So if you open this flow, we have few components right here. A few logger components to log the request. Then we have a validate movie data, right? So let's go through the validate movie data flow. We have a subflow created for that, and currently we just have a dummy information as of now, right? It is just validating few things, right, for us. And whatever the request we are receiving from the front end system, right? So we are just validating a few things from it, right? For example, the title of the movie, it should not be empty, right? If it is empty, then add the empty array. And we do have few other validations in place, right? So if you remember, right, it's just a generalized use case we have given, but Divergent has intelligently added few steps in between, few checks in between, which he thinks that we might need that, and of course we will definitely need this, right? To filter out the proper request, right? So this is one of the flow which is being created, and apart from that, we have a checked duplicate movies flow as well, because we are adding the movies in the backend, so there should be some uh, check which we will check, like if the movie is already available in the backend system or not, and if it is available, do some operation. If it is not available, then create it, right? So for that we do Divergent has created one more subflow as well to check the duplicate movies, right? And once we have successfully executed the duplicate movies, we will generate a movie IDs as well, right? But ideally we should have a specific, a unique movie ID coming to the request itself, but he do have added some subflows to generate the movie ID as well. So if we need this flow, well and good, we can use this, but if we don't need, we can remove this flow, right? But the point here is that it is intelligently thinking of what all things are needed to execute this particular request, and subsequently he's adding that much of flows and subflows and code for us. And once the movie ID is created, then it will store the movie. So for storing, we have a subflow created, and in store we are just preparing some movie record, right? Movie payload, and then we are just inserting that in a backend database. Currently it's commented out, right? But we can uncomment it and we can give our related configurations. Okay. So if you see, right, the point here is Divergent has intelligently created a lot of things in between, right, with just a simple use case, which is at most useful, which is at most useful for all of us. If you want, we can use it. If you want, we can update or remove it respectively. Okay. All right. So this is all about creating the integrations for this session. In our next session, we are going to test this API, and let's see how much correctness we are getting from this generated code. All right. Thank you.